or continue with Plan B on Edmund's planet, which would sacrifice the lives of billions on Earth. Back on Earth, Murph rushes to the hospital to visit Brand, who is dying. She promises she'll carry on with his work, but Brand uses his last breath to make a confession. Project Endurance was never meant to return and the theory for Plan A isn't achievable. Before Murph can ask for more, Brand dies, and Murph has to be the one to send a message to Amelia. In the video, Murph accuses Amelia of knowing about her father's lies. Sometime later, the spacecraft safely lands on the next planet, where they can see snowy mountains and a whole base. They get inside and find a cryosleep pod, so they open it to wake up Dr. Mann. The poor doctor cries at seeing another person because he had lost all hope and his resources were almost gone. Once he's calmed down, Mann shows the crew around the planet. They are currently at a peak where there is no breathable air, but the planet also has a lower surface where life is possible. The discussion of how to carry on their plan is interrupted by Tars, who has a message for Amelia. She plays the video for everyone to hear and Murph reveals all the lies, but Amelia swears she didn't know anything. However, Mann does know about it. He says that Brand solved the equation even before the astronauts left, but simply proving the theory isn't enough. They need information on what's inside the black hole to put it into practical use, but the laws of nature don't allow that. Mann supports Brand's actions, saying that sacrificing the lives of the billions on Earth is necessary to save the human race. Cooper refuses to accept this and plans to return to Earth. Back on Earth, Murph tells the truth to her colleague and boyfriend Getty, who thinks they should inform the public of this. Murph refuses because she still hasn't given up on Plan A, thinking that the ghost from her childhood had told her to work on this. In the station, Cooper gets ready to return, and Romilly offers an idea. They could throw Tars in the black hole so that he can collect information about what's inside. Tars gladly accepts this mission. Afterward, Mann prepares to construct the laboratory and habitat modules brought by the Endurance, and Cooper goes with him to scout out potential areas. While the duo walks around, Mann begins a weird conversation about survival instincts, and when they reach the edge of a cliff, Mann removes Cooper's transmission device and pushes him off. Cooper manages to hold onto some rocks, and when Mann comes down to kick him, Cooper grabs him and takes him down with him. Once they reach the ground, Mann explains he can't let Cooper leave with the ship and confesses he faked the data so someone would come to rescue him. In truth, the planet isn't actually habitable. Back on Earth, Murph visits her old room to decipher the ghost messages while Getty checks on Tom's family, who is very sick. Getty scolds Tom for not leaving their home like everyone else is doing, and Tom punches Getty for it. When Murph wonders if Tom is waiting for his kid to die, Tom kicks him out. On their way out, Murph drives into the cornfields and starts dousing the crops with fuel to then start a fire before leaving. Tom quickly sees the flames and comes to take care of them, giving Getty the chance to rescue the family and Murph to return to her room. Meanwhile, on the planet, Cooper and Mann get into a fight, but when Cooper overpowers him, Mann headbutts Cooper's helmet to expose him to the toxic air. While Mann gets away, Cooper crawls to his communicator and asks Amelia for help. Case and Amelia immediately fly back to rescue him, arriving right before Cooper suffocates. While Cooper tells Amelia the truth, Romilly begins modifying Tars. However, when he looks at the data in Mann's own robot, he discovers the truth as well. At that moment, Amelia contacts him through the radio, but suddenly, an explosion happens on the base. When Amelia and Cooper come back to the base, they only see the remaining disaster and Tars rushing out from the flames. They pick the robot up and learn that Romilly's dead while Mann takes his own ship back to the station. Cooper tries to get in contact with him and make him see reason, but Mann ignores them. At that moment, Case informs the crew that the auto-docking procedure on board the station is disabled, so it's almost impossible for Mann to board Endurance successfully. Cooper tries to warn Mann, but this time Mann turns off communications completely and attempts to dock manually anyway. After lots of hovering and shaking, the ship touches a hatch, yet Mann fails to align it. Ignoring the blaring alarms, Mann opens the hatch anyway, and the airlock immediately explodes, destroying part of the station and pushing it away. The crew watches the explosion with horror and notices debris is coming in their direction. Cooper immediately flies around the debris and approaches the station on purpose, saying he will dock even at this extreme speed. Case says it's impossible, but Cooper insists it's necessary and pulls a crazy maneuver to put the ship under the docking area right before Endurance leaves the stratosphere of the planet. Tars opens up the hatch and Cooper carefully guides the ship, his amazing pilot skills managing to dock it at the station with perfect precision. Now the ship stops the station's rotation and pushes it out of the stratosphere. The duo's celebration is short-lived because Case announces they're headed to Gargantua, and the ship is quite damaged. A second generator is keeping up the system, but the navigations are destroyed, so they can't return to Earth. Their only choice is to reach Edmund's planet, so Cooper plans to use Gargantua as a giant slingshot to get them there. To do this, they have to get rid of all the weight they can, including Tars. Amelia doesn't like the idea, but Tars is fine with this since his only goal is to save humankind. Soon Endurance is in Gargantua's orbit, shocking the crew with its bright light. The station reaches the maximum velocity and the engines push for full power, then the ship starts moving toward the exit as Tars says his final goodbye and detaches from the ship. Next, Case announces Cooper's section shall be detached as well. Amelia can't believe what she's hearing, and Cooper explains that there aren't enough resources for both of them, so this is his way to give humanity a last hope. Amelia cries as she sees Cooper sacrificing himself, his station unit falling into the black hole. Darkness surrounds Cooper's ship for a few moments until suddenly, flashes of light start to appear, looking almost like droplets of rain. The ship then begins shaking and the exterior burns up as the gravitational pull puts too much pressure on it, causing Cooper to lose consciousness. The computer suddenly wakes him up, reminding him to eject his seat. Cooper is released from the ship and he floats around in the darkness, passing through a cold corridor full of flashing lights before landing into a seemingly endless corridor. Cooper manages to hold on to the walls to stop the fall, and as he looks around, he realizes that the wall is made up of books. When he looks on the other side, he discovers some sort of room, so he bangs on the shelves to make the books fall. This reveals a young Murph on the other side. Cooper desperately tries to talk to her, but she never hears him, so Cooper remembers the message she decoded and spells stay as a way to ask her to never leave this room until she understands everything. While Cooper sees himself saying goodbye to young Murph, he cries hopelessly because he sees his leaving as a mistake. In the present, older Murph starts to pull out the books as well and finally understands the ghost had been her father all along. Now she has to wait for a new message from him. At that moment, Tars gets in contact with Cooper. The robot has survived with the data and explains this is the dimension created by the aliens that put the wormhole. Here time is a physical plane. Cooper realizes that since gravity can travel through time, this corridor is connected to all the years in Murph's life, and he can send a message to Murph. It was humans themselves who built this place in the future and sent him back so Murph could save the world. No other human can travel through these corridors properly. It has to be Cooper because Amelia had been right, and the power of his love for Murph is powerful enough to guide him. Ready to solve the entire issue, Cooper asks Tars for NASA's coordinates in binary and sends it to his past self in the form of the sand, putting his hands against the storm. Then he goes to present Murph and uses the watch he left her to give her all the quantum data from the wormhole that Tars gathered using Morse code. Now Plan A can be more than just a theory. Murph grabs the watch and notices the seconds arm ticking in Morse code. Excited to see confirmation her dad is alive, she runs outside and hugs Tom just in time to stop another fight between him and Getty. Afterward, Murph returns to Brand's office, and with the help of a watch, she finally figures out how to execute Plan A. She resets the equation and designs it from zero, then gleefully announces to everyone in the base that their future has been saved. Meanwhile, in the quantum corridor, Tars informs Cooper that their plan worked and the dimension is closing up. Suddenly, Cooper gets consumed by the bright light, and as he floats away, he sees Amelia reaching out her hand to him before he passes out. Sometime later, Cooper wakes up in a hospital room and a doctor tells him he's 124 years old. It turns out humans made it out from Earth, and now they're in the Cooper station near Saturn. Cooper thinks they named it after him, but it was actually named after his daughter. Once Cooper is feeling fine, he's given a tour of the colony, and he discovers they've remade his home into a museum honoring Cooper's life. A broken Tars is there too, and Cooper spends the rest of the day working on fixing it. A few days later, Cooper is called to the hospital, where he can finally see his daughter again. Murph is old now, and she's been in cryosleep all this time, waiting for her dad to come back. All her descendants are there too, and Murph thinks she has enough family to keep her company on her deathbed. She doesn't think any father should watch their children die, so Murph asks Cooper to travel again and find Amelia. It turns out Amelia and Case have made it to the third planet safely. Edmund unfortunately is dead, but the planet is habitable and Amelia has set up a base so she can start taking care of the thousands of fertilized eggs that were in the station for Plan B. On Earth, Cooper steals a shuttle to go find her.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more.